All right, shalom, shalom. This is the brother Danya Allah coming back with another lesson. Giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Racha HaQadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles, a great millstone. And shalom to the hopeful elect brothers that believe, brothers and sisters that believe in this word, and that fear in the Heavenly Father and His Son here. Let me take this off of here. And just wanted to do a quick lesson on some videos, lessons from the elders, in particular Apostle Kabar, that I was listening to earlier today, concerning prayer. But before we get into that, this is our new channel that we're trying to get more subscribers so that we can go live. We recorded and uploaded our last camp to this channel, but the channel name is GMS Still City Saints. So subscribe, watch, and be edified in the water. Let me see where the video is at. Right here, right? Now this is the video I was watching earlier, or let me say not watching, but listening to, because I was on the Shaddah, which means the basically like the plantation. I was working in the field. Well, I was the Shaddah. Let's look it up real quick. This is part of what I'm going to be going into in the lesson. But let's see here, field. Right. This is one of the many uses you can use the Blue Letter Bible for, is the interlinear. Now, of course, you gotta get into that Lashawan Qadash, all right, which is our native tongue, all right, which we received and believe through the elders of our elders, right? Mainly High Priest Arya, right? And it's according to prophecy where the Lord said what? He shall return unto the people a pure language, that they may call upon the name of the Lord with one consent. Now, this gotta be the pure language, man. Of course, you could pray unto the Lord in English and use His actual name, but in order to say His actual name, you have to be speaking in the Hebrew to say His name. But I believe it. This gotta be the Lashawan Qadash has to be the ancient language, or the way the Hebrew was pronounced. Because I'm a brother, and I'm sure that there's other brothers out there that get into the Hebrew, but I will say 90%, maybe 95% of all my prayers is in the Lashawan Qadash, and the Lord answers your prayers, right? So if the Lord can give us His name in the Hebrew, of course He can give us the rest of the language. Right? So all this, this is all by faith. Okay? You have faith in the Most High. The Most High show you, that, that He's dealing with you. Right? But I wanted to get this word here for field, which is right here. It looks like Sade, but it's not. It's Shaddah, which is, let's click on it. Now, I'm only really getting this so you can get the actual characters. Right, there's plenty of videos. Actually, I'll get some channels where you can go and learn more of the Lashawan Qadash. All right, and what we were taught, how to pronounce the ancient Hebrew, not the modern. The way that they do this is the modern day Hebrew, okay, which was made up by Alexander Yitzhak Perlman, or Ben Yehudi as he's also called, right? They made this up. It was a made up. They basically decided, well, this is, these, we're gonna decide what the Hebrew is gonna sound like, and then you got the Masoretic text. So these are what they made up, right? But just as we received the knowledge of who the Most High is, what he looks like, his prophecies, his names, we also receive the true language. And it's all according to prophecy. All right? Because you got people out there that say, oh, that the Hebrew is that we speak is not valid, but it is. Right? The Most High can return all these other things unto us, bring all these other things into our remembrance. Can he not bring back the Hebrew into our remembrance also? Right? But here in the this is in the Assyrian text, right? It's a Shah, a Da, and a Ha. So it's Shadah, right? Which means the field, cultivated field, a home of wild beasts, a plain, opposed to a mountain, a land, opposed to a sea, right? So the Shadah, like working in the field, also could be what? Plantation, And for the work I do, I will literally be in a field working. I will literally be in a field or on a farm or, working. Right. So field, we also will use this to say plantation or job, right? Work as Shadah, right? So there you go. But going back, the title of the video for the Apostle Gabar is this channel, Daily Edification 4. Subscribe and be edified, of course. Right? It says 4-mile hike. Let's walk and talk. So he's killing two birds with one stone. He's getting his exercise in. He's walking and he's talking and he's going into the importance of prayer and diet. Right? Prayer and diet. We over here at GMS, we are into getting our health right, and really it's scriptural. It's scriptural. It's according to the scriptures, right? Hey, just the other day, before our last camp, me and the brother Isaiah, we went into the vitamin shop, to get some herbs, that he needed. We even got some turmeric and ginger shots from another place. I took that before camp, to help with tremendously with inflammation. It's good to take every day also, right? Got us a little something to eat. Yeah, had some really good salads, man. Right, but really getting into our health. But this video is not really going to be according to the diet, but more so of the prayer. Hey, every day you wake up and you pray to the Most High. Hey, before you leave, you pray that that you're safe. All right, that you're out of harm's way. That the Most High protect you and keep your life safe. Every time you make it back home, just like right now, I just made it back to the Bayath, right? But every time you make it back home, without being alive, right? You make it back alive, right? That is a prayer answered. The prayer you made in the morning, asking for protection throughout the day, asking for endurance while you at the Shadah at work, right? Because you endure a lot of hell when you working for these devils, man. While you at the Shadah and you made it to the end of the day and you woke up the next morning, guess what? Your prayer has been answered. The Most High has answered your prayer. Pray to the Most High to endure for more endurance, more faith, right? The Most High answers these prayers, man. Now, hey, it's good to learn the Hebrew. Let's get some let's get some precepts, right? The Hebrew is the language that the Heavenly Father, the Lord, and the angels speak. All right, in the heavens. Okay, and also, hey, let me grab this because it is the most powerful language. So, when you're in your spiritual battle against demons, right, you can say, "I rebuke you, Satan, in the name of Yahweh, while Yahweh Shai," right, in the name of the Most High and His Son. You can say that in English, right? But is 3 times, 4 times as powerful when you say it in the Hebrew, right? So let's get no, I try to even incorporate I speak, in the Hebrew to my sons, and they respond. They got their government names, but when they first came out the womb, I've been calling them by a Hebrew name, and that's what they respond to. Especially my eldest son. But let's go here. We're gonna go to the book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 1. They're here in the prologue, right? The prologue basically gives you the reason or the history behind the book that he compiled together from his grandfather, basically on how to live more according to the law. Wisdom when it comes to living according to the law. All right, and this was translated in, from another language. Okay. Let me see, Lord, on the wisdom. Sentences, sayings, parables. Also his prayer and song. Let me see here. Oh man. Oh yeah. And I'm gonna have to read this whole thing again, man. Right? Love of the book. Continueth therefore wise sayings, dark sentences, parables, certain particular ancient godly stories of men that please the Most High, also his prayer and song. Moreover, what benefit the Most High? Okay, so we're gonna get to the point. Salakia. Besides to learn the prophet, reading the law, the books of the prophet, Father God, good wisdom. Here we go. So it says, wherefore let me entreat you to read it with favor and attention, and to pardon us wherein we may seem to come short of some words which we have labored to interpret, because they were translating things, right? Translation is this hefty work, man. It says, for the same things uttered in Hebrew, right? How do you say Hebrew in the Lashawan Qadash, or in the Hebrew, right? It's Ibar Yath, which means old, from the past, of old, right? Because this was the language that everybody spoke in the beginning. And through the lineage, through a particular lineage, okay, the language was continued through that lineage from Shem to Arphaxad down to Eber, and that's where the language that's where you get Ibar Yath from. Eber, Ibar. You got something called the Iberian Peninsula. That's where you get the word Hebrew from Eber, right? Eber, Peleg, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. So the language was sustained that Hebrew language, that old language from before, was sustained through our particular lineage. Okay? Because during the Tower of Babel, that was during the time of what was that? Eber, Peleg, right? Around that time, when Nimrod was establishing his rulership, his kingdom. All right, the Lord came down and had the angels came down and mixed up all the languages to where they couldn't understand each other. Really, those who could understand each other, they would group up with them. All right. When you do a spiritual extrapolation, right? But the languages were split, but a particular lineage, a particular seed kept the Hebrew, kept they kept the old language, man, the holy tongue. Okay. So it says, and translated into another tongue have not the same force in them. So you take something from the Hebrew and you translate it into another tongue, is not as powerful. It loses its strength, right? Not only these things, but the law itself, that also loses its strength when you translate it over into another language. And the prophets and the books have no small difference when they are spoken in their own language, right? So if you want to have the most force, okay, in your prayer, all right, the most force in your rebuke against these demons, the spiritual demons, Satan and his goons, right? These evil spirits, the Hebrew is the way to go, man. The Lashawan Qadash is the way to go, which the word Lashawan means tongue and Qadash means holy, right? So, there you go. Now, the Lord spoke Hebrew. If I could remember, this would be Acts chapter 9? See, Saul rose, were open, man, led him to Damascus. Lord, arise. Arise. Here we go. Oh, I went right to it. Call Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Right, now this is Paul going into his conversion, right? How he encountered the Lord. The Lord was speaking to him from a chariot, so to speak, right? He blinded him with that bright light, right? Acts chapter 9 and verse 3. It says, and as he journeyed, he came near Damascus, and suddenly there shined round about him a light from heaven, right? And he fell to the earth and heard a voice saying unto him. Now this would be you got some Bibles where you can see everything in red. That would be the Lord speaking. Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? Right? Why are you coming up against? Because if you persecuting the Lord, then you will be persecuting his disciples. If you persecute his disciples, those who believe in him, then you persecuting the Lord. It's like you persecuting the Lord. So that's why he's saying, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? And he said, who art thou, Lord? And the Lord said, I am Yahweh Shai. Salakia. Hold on. Salakia. Okay, so like it might be in let me see here. Salakia. Let me type in the Hebrew tongue because it might be later down there. This is probably the account. and then after Salakia in the Hebrew tongue. Salakia. So that's the actual account of what was happening. It doesn't give the detail that I'm looking for. But when you go from there to Acts the 26th chapter, right? Now he's explaining what happened to him in the 9th chapter. 26 and 14. So hold on. Punishment off in the synagogues, whereupon I went to Damascus. So he's telling what happened to him, right? Verse 13, it says, at midday, O king, he's saying to the king what happened to him. I saw in the way a light from heaven above the brightness of the sun. That's a chariot. Shining round about me and them which journeyed with me. So he had people that was with him. And when we were all fallen to the earth, I heard a voice speaking unto me, saying in the Hebrew tongue, in the Ibariath, right? I mean, the Lord was an Israelite. He was an Hebrew Israelite. He spoke Hebrew. His name was in Hebrew. His mom's name was in Hebrew. His dad's name was in Hebrew. Yawasap. Right? He was of the lineage of David. He spoke Hebrew. Come on now. Right? It says, and when we were all fallen to the earth, I heard a voice speaking unto me, saying in the Hebrew tongue, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. And I said, who art thou, Lord? And he said, I am Yahushai whom thou persecutest. Right? So, the Lord spoke to him in the Hebrew. Okay? He spoke to him in the Hebrew. So, let me see here. Now, let's see here. Paleo. Let's look this up real quick. Paleo Hebrew. Right? These will be Salakia. Now, you have different scripts of the Hebrew. The Lord will I will do another lesson going into, the different scripts. Just going more into the Hebrew. Okay. The Ibariath. Lashawan Qadash. Right? I'm just trying to get. Okay, this is one right here. Let's get this right here. Can I get that on the? No, I can't. Open a new tab. Boom. Right. So as you can kind of see right here. With the Hebrew, now this is in the Assyrian script, meaning the way the letters were written. You know how you have in English, you have different fonts, right? You may have English, but it's written in a cursive way, or English is written kind of in a box form, right? Well, Hebrew got different fonts too, different scripts, the way that it was written, right? But this is the Assyrian script. I was looking for the Salat. And this is where you get, this is the origin of really all the other languages. You got the ABCs, that's your Abba Ga. All right? Your ABCs, your alphabet. Alpha beta in the Greek, which Greek, spans from Hebrew to a degree. For all languages, you got the alpha beta, but in the Hebrews that would be a lot bayath. But I'm gonna get more into that in another lesson. I'm trying to get the other. Here it is. This is what I wanted to get right here. Right. So and it's good to learn both of the scripts. I would suggest doing the Paleo script first, and then the Assyrian. Is it right here? There we go. Right? The Paleo script. And then the Assyrian, as you can see here, you got the Ah. Salakia. You got the Ah. And you know what? I'll do a video on this, but this is what the Paleo script looks like, right? As far as writing. So let's let me get another preset. Of hard speech. Of a hard speech. 3 and okay, here we go. This is Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 4. It says, and he said unto me, Son of man, go get thee into the house of Israel and speak my words unto them. So the prophet, he's telling Ezekiel, which in the Hebrew is Yakazak Allah, right? Or Kazak Ya'ala, right? To go and speak to the children of Israel, his own people. All right. For thou art sent to, it says, for thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech. Right? Meaning you're not sent to a people that don't speak the same language as you, that don't speak Hebrew. Okay? And of an hard language. Hebrew, so the Lashawan Qadash is an easy language. But to the house of Israel, it's an easy language. The Hebrew is an easy language. It's simple. Right? It's simple. Yeah, it's a very simple language, man. Right? You only have the two main vowels, which is the ah, and then you have the I, which kind of looks like an eyeball. I in the Hebrew is ayun, right? Right? And the I. Okay? The ah. Ah, ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za. Very simple language. Cha. Okay, that one's kind of, back of the throat. Like you're hogging a loogie. Right? Very simple language. And that's why he said what? You're not sent to a people of a strange speech or of an hard language, but to the house of Israel. Not to many people of a strange speech and of an hard language whose words thou canst understand. Surely I had sent thee to them, they would have hearkened unto thee. Meaning, if I would have sent you to the heathens, they would have listened. But no, Israel, hard-headed, stiff-necked. That's whom I'm sending you to. But, the language what they speak which is Hebrew. It's not a strange language. It's not a language you don't know. And it's not hard, The Hebrew is a simple language, right? So, let me see. So now let's get some channels, right? Now you can go on my maybe I'll make a playlist too. But you can go on my channel and I have Hebrew lessons on my channel. Let me see. Maybe the most popular. Right. I have Hebrew lessons on my channel. Psalms 51 and 11 in the Hebrew. I write them up on the board. All right. There should be more up here. Right. I got quick prayers, in the Hebrew. Maybe I'll just compile a whole playlist, for brothers and sisters to listen, learn the Hebrew, the Lashawan Qadash. Right. Quick prayer for mercy. So I got some, and you can, type it in the search bar, Lashawan Qadash, GMS Lashawan Qadash. Well, that's actually a channel too. Or GMS Lexicon, Salakia. Right. Also, let me see here. GMS Spanish. Here, I'll just get to it this way. Salakia. It's the old channel. Oh wow, they took like 5 videos off of here. Okay. Also, for brothers and sisters, por los hermanos y hermanas que, hablan español, tengo también, oraciones en el hebreo antiguo, en español. Sí, en este canal, GMS Pittsburgh Spanish, y 01 en mi mano, ok. Sí, 01 en mi mano. Y sí, oración rápida en hebreo, Tahar Naya, una oración corta, de misericordia, sí, oración de quedar del Espíritu Santo. Sí, y más lecciones en el hebreo del oraciones en el Lashawan Qadash, ok. El lenguaje o la lengua santo, okay. And basically what I was saying, I even have videos where, for brothers and sisters that speak Spanish, exclusively, I would say, or maybe that's the language that you have the most understanding in, I have, lessons in Spanish also, concerning the Lashawan Qadash. So Lord will, I'll do more videos in the Lashawan Qadash in English and in Spanish, to edify brothers and sisters. So that's that. Right now, okay, so that's my channel. You can find, Hebrew lessons on my channel. You also got the brother, the elder Monagun, which is GMS Spiritual Army 144. Is this him? I believe so. Right? Here you go. Before you go to sleep, pray. Boom. Right? So he has lots of videos. He might even have a playlist put together, right? Prefixes and suffixes. Yep. He goes into the Hebrew a lot, right? Alphabet and numbers in the Hebrew, right? Counting 1 through 12. Hasapar. The numbering, which I believe Sapar means, it's Hasapar, Salakia. But Sapar by itself, I believe that means a book, by itself. Yeah, so look at that. I'm about to watch some of these myself. So he has Hebrew lessons 2, the alphabet and numbers, changing tenses. Ooh, yep. There you go. Hebrew future tense, Hebrew present tense, Hebrew past. He called all Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. He separated all the, Lord will, I'll make a chart concerning that too. Name of the Lord. Right. So you can also go to his channels and get edified, subscribe and get edified. He also has Hebrew lessons. We also have this. GMS Lexicon. Why did I do that? Not VMS. Salakia. What Salakia means, forgive me. Or in other words, sorry. Or you can also say, excuse me. Salakia. GMS Lexicon. Salakia. GMS Lashawan Qadash is what it is. Salakia. Lashawan Qadash. Right? Which different brothers have done. Elders have done videos in the Hebrew concerning on this channel. But the elder Ariam Lab, okay, Apostle Ariam Lab, put up a lot of videos concerning the Hebrew, right? Hebrew vowel points, pronunciation, which is important. The pronunciation, that's it. That's important with any language you learn. Learning how to say it correctly, and also, for the sake of understanding, learn how to identify those sounds when you hear them. Training your ears for it, right? But right. This is a very heavy channel. You can learn, basically everything on here. But the brothers have expanded even more through the Spirit. Have added to it. But you can. This is a good channel. All the videos to take notes, practice, and then before you know it, you'll learn different Hebrew prayers that brothers have put together, prayers that come from the actual scriptures, because they got a lot of in the Hebrew lessons, like I said right here, Genesis 5:1-2, Lashawan Qadash. So you learned it in Lashawan Qadash. So then you learn how to say different things and phrases in the Hebrew, read the Hebrew. But then you just start to come up with your, through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, you start to come up with your own prayers in the Hebrew, your own sayings. Like I said, if you have children, you can teach your children the Hebrew, if that's what you please to do. That's, sort of what I do. Not to an extreme level, but that's sort of, I communicate with my sons, in the Lashawan Qadash to a degree. They don't call me dad. Well, for the most part, they don't. They call me Abba, but that's the first words I hear when I walk in the door. But, right. So, Lord, will you edify with this lesson? Get into the Hebrew. Let's see here. Let's get another precept, and continually pray. Pray without ceasing. Pray, so like it, without. There we go. Prayers without ceasing. Boom. 1 Thessalonians. Look at this. Evil for every man unto 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 16. It says, rejoice evermore. 17. Pray without ceasing. In everything give thanks, For this is the will of the Most High in Hamashiach Yahushai concerning you. Quench not the spirit, despise not prophesying. These are just little short sayings, man. Boom, do this, do that, don't do this. But it's all full of wisdom, right? Despise not prophesying. Prove all things. Hold fast that which is good. But, what I'm trying to harp on is what? Pray without ceasing. When you wake up, pray. And our apostles, I know especially Apostle Rakah, he always comes to mind. It's to always pray. When you wake up, you open your eyes, pray, giving thanks unto the Lord for being awake. Before you leave the house, pray. When you get in your car, before you go on your journey, you pray. Before you eat your food, you pray. Before you go to sleep, you pray. Before you take your herbs, you want to get that healing, you pray. Hey, you know what? Let's get that too. Is the scripture just said, well, prove all things, right? Let's get that too, right? That's important. Right? Book of Sirach, Ecclesiastes, chapter 38. Let's go to verse 9. Verse 9. It says, my son, in thy sickness be not negligent. So don't neglect to do this important thing. Be not negligent, but pray unto the Lord, and he will make thee whole. Meaning he will restore your health. Pray unto the Lord, and he will make thee whole. And this is the chapter where it talks about the medicines out of the earth, the plant solutions for the body, for the temple, right? So, Lord, will you are edified. You can subscribe to those channels, GMS Lashawan Qadash, GMS Lashawan Qadash. And Lord will, I'm gonna put these in the description. The different channels you can subscribe to learn more of the Hebrew, so that you can pray to the Most High in the Hebrew. Okay, so with that, I'm going to say, call all Yahweh Shem Shabbat Shem Kakwadash, and shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.